What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CoolFigurez channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at the first Marvel Legends that I've ever bought, and that is, of course, Cyclops from the House of M Wave. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel is all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunching them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. I upload new videos constantly throughout the week, so make sure you hit that bell icon so you stay notified when I do upload new videos. And if you do enjoy this video or any of my other ones, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow, and it lets me know to keep making free content for you guys. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, guys. It is a very small goal of mine to try to reach at least one new subscriber per new video that I put out, so please be my one new subscriber for this video. Thank you so much in advance. As always, the information on this channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector, and once again, guys, we are covering the first ever Marvel Legends that I've bought, and it is, of course, Cyclops from the House of M. When we covered the AIM Soldier earlier in the week, I did mention that that was the second ever Marvel Legends that I've purchased, and that we would be covering the first ever this week, since we were already on that kind of a train and trend. And so, back in early April, for my birthday, my friend gave me a Mezco Magneto figure, and I absolutely loved it, but I was missing some heroes for him to go up against. So what did I do? I went, of course, to my local Walmart, and thankfully they had just released this House of M Wave, and I picked myself up a Cyclops and a Wolverine. Unfortunately, I didn't really like the way the Wolverine head sculpts were, so I kind of held off on opening him, and I actually, in fact, ended up getting the Logan Wolverine Mezco. So I have a review of that. I'll link that up above here so you guys can check that out. And so, but I ended up keeping this guy because Cyclops was definitely my all-time favorite mutant growing up from the X-Men, and as I grew up, Wolverine became my favorite, but growing up it was always Cyclops. He was the cool, young guy. He always wearing those cool shades to help him out with his powers, but it was just cool because he had an excuse to wear sunglasses inside, and he wasn't a douchebag, so that was really cool. And he had those super strong eye beams and whatnot, laser beam eyes, kind of like Superman, but just times a million. So he was just my favorite growing up, and slowly as I grew older, Wolverine definitely became my favorite. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. So he does come with a few accessories. He comes with, of course, his alternate head right here, so it's more of a mellow head, and it doesn't have any slit opening. It's just the regular glasses. Whereas here he also comes with this awesome cool beam effect that I have to give Hasbro credit for, because it is really cool how they included this with this figure. As you can see, is very nicely done. It's more of a pinkish hue than a red. I don't know if they've changed his color in the comics. I never read House of M. I don't really read Marvel comics. I'm more of a DC comics guy. But growing up, the X-Men animated series was definitely one of my favorite TV shows, as well as the Fox X-Men movies. And like I said, Cyclops was definitely always my favorite character in those things. So that is it when it comes to accessories for these guys. And now let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation. So before we take a look at his articulation, let's also just take a closer look at him. The Marvel Legends bodies are very, very well done. I have to admit, they do this very often. They've got this down to a science at this point. So I can't really gripe about it. I mean, some of the proportions are whatever. And that's one of the reasons why I don't really collect Marvel Legends. And if I were, it would mainly be Spider-Man and his Rogues Gallery. But I feel like I'm so behind on those that eBay prices and all that, it's just not worth it for me. And also space. I just don't have the space to collect a bunch of Rogues for Spider-Man, since I have a bunch of Batman and Ninja Turtle stuff. I do have a part for my Spider-Man stuff, but it's a lot smaller than my Batman stuff. But anyways, we're not talking about Batman or Spider-Man in this review, right? We're talking about Cyclops and the X-Men. So with that being said, I do like the way this figure is, especially the pouches. I mentioned that on another figure recently. I absolutely love fat pouches on action heroes. It just reminds me of the Dark Knight Returns utility belt. So I absolutely love when they wear these fat pouches, especially in brown leather, and they're just very nicely well detailed and done. The X is very nicely done. The paint apps are very nicely done as well, for it being such small parts and whatnot. Taking a closer look at this head sculpt, I absolutely love it. I'm super happy he came with this one. This is just total Cyclops at his best when he's, you know, in a battle and whatnot. He's just totally focused, and that's the head. This is the head sculpt that I display him with right next to my Magneto, Mezco, and Mezco Wolverine. He is actually one of the only non-Mezco figures on my Mezco shelf. But he fits there, so he stays there. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy's articulation, because he does come with quite a bit. So he can look all the way to the right, all the way to the left. In fact, he can do the whole Exorcism 360 head turn if you want. He can look all the way down. Look at that, touches his chin to his chest, and then he can go all the way back as if he can break his own neck. So if that's any idea of what's to come, you guys have no idea. So his shoulders do rotate all the way out, as you can see, and although no butterfly joint, that's surprising with all the articulation in this figure. You do get bicep rotation right there, as well as double hinge elbow joints, but it's a little hindered by his big bicep right there and thick forearms. This guy's been working out. You do get rotation at the wrist right there, as well as in and out hinging. Both wrists hinge in and out since neither are trigger fingers. You do get that fat cut ab cut right there, so he does bend forward quite a bit, and back not so much, but just a slight bit. You do get rotation at the bottom of the waist right there. Looking at his legs are full of articulation. They go out that far. You get rotation at the thigh, so thigh swivel, double hinge knees. You also get a boot cut. You get toe ankle articulation all the way down, ankle articulation almost all the way up, as well as a ball rocker hinge joint. The only thing this thing is missing is toe articulation, really. But other than that, guys, this guy is super articulated. He's super posable, an amazing Cyclops figure. Like I said, only my first Marvel Legends figure, and surprisingly it wasn't Spider-Man, but I have a Diamond Select Spider-Man, so that's why I haven't had a need for a Marvel Legends one. But I'm super happy with this figure, and I'm super glad I got him to add to my small X-Men collection. And I am actually hoping to get the Mezco Cyclops, the Jim Lee one, not the original 90s one, or the original X-Men one, but the, you know, the 1990s Jim Lee inspired one. But that one is not quite too high on my list. I have a few other Mezco figures that I want to get before that one, so we will see if we get around to it. Hopefully we do, though, because I would really love to have that and add that to my collection. Although if I do, I don't know where this guy's going to go. He's probably going to have to go in my very small Marvel section that I have in my display. I need to do a toy or a display room tour for you guys. If you guys want to see my display, if you guys want a display tour, let me know down in the comments down below. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some really cool pics of this guy, and we will be right back. Alright everybody, thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. And I did recently start a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited shots called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Go ahead and check it out. If you like what you see, leave me a follow there as well. And if you did enjoy this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, guys. And before we sign out fully, I did want to say that I am going to be going forward with the weekly podcast on this channel starting this Saturday, which is going to be a big one, especially with NECA's announcements that have probably already happened by the time this video has gone up, since I'm recording this on, you know, the weekend. But with that being said, guys, please, I really would appreciate if you guys check out my first episode, which will be uploading and premiering on Saturday at 10 a.m. So let me know what you think, and if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments down below. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys, whether or not you are a subscriber. I really do appreciate it. As always, I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Magical, aka the Buff Collector, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.